Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video I will show you how to make this fully 3D printed and fully Arduino based RC transmitter with 11 channels. I have created this transmitter for my 3D printed RC tank, so the functions and controls are custom for controlling the tank in this case. The first stick switch is for controlling front lights of the tank. The up position means the light will be turned on, and the down position means the light will be blinking. You can see that this function is indicated also on the display and also with the LED indicator. The second stick switch has the same function but for the back lights of the tank. And the third is for a custom function which can be unique for a specific tank. The stick switch on the bottom side of the transmitter is for shooting of the tank. Left stick is for controlling left tracks of the tank and the right stick is for controlling right tracks of the tank. The joystick in the middle is for controlling turret and cannon of the tank. On the bottom side you can find the battery indicator, which is designed for 8.4 volts battery. And also on the bottom side of this transmitter you can find the battery box. And now we can test it if it is working correctly, and we can control the RC tank, which is not completely done, but it doesn't matter. As a first, I connect cables for the radio frequency transmitter and I put it to platform what I have prepared. I put all STL files into a link in a description under this video with manual, so there will be written what parts you need to join with the screws and what with the glue. For this radio transmitter module I will use screws because I want to have possibility to replace this module, and if I use glue it will be a bit problem to replace this. I will join the wires to the joystick buttons with a soldering iron. I'm not using connectors because later I will place upper part of these joysticks and there is no place for the connectors. In this way I will join all needed wires to these joysticks. You can find that in the schematics, which I will put under this video in description. This is a middle part where are placed stick switches, one joystick and some indicator light diodes. Now I have to shorten the pins of the LEDs because they are too long. I have to also put some tin with the flux on the pins of the LEDs and also on the stick switches, because then will be much easier to solder some resistors and wires on them. Now I will solder resistors on LEDs. I will continue in this way and I will solder resistor on each of the LEDs on the longer leg. I have prepared this bended copper wire to join the grounds of the stick, switches and LEDs. I solder shorter leg of each LED to this copper wire, which represents ground. The same way I will do the connection of the grounds of the stick switches, and also I will use piece of copper wire. After that, I can solder the signal wires which will be connected to Arduino board. On the each stick switch are two position switch, so we have to connect each of them to Arduino. Also, we need to connect each of LEDs to Arduino because the signal to power up the LEDs will be from Arduino. I use also heat shrinks to protect our connections before short circuit. Now it is a time to solder the wires to Arduino board. I will not show whole process, but I will place schematics to description of this video, so I recommend to follow the schematics and solder the wires in a similar way as I'm soldering. Next I will place the battery box, which will be under the device. You can see that there is a cable which goes through hole, and this cable will be connecting the battery with the power on button of the transmitter. Now I take the upper part of the transmitter where is placed the power on button, and I will solder the cable from the battery box to this power button. Now I try to place the middle part to the platform and join it with the screws. I need to be careful because there are a lot of wires. I have prepared this small terminal, which I will use for connecting the grounds and the 5 volts connections. One side is for ground and one side is for 5 volts connections. Here you need to be very careful before the short circuit, which can damage your device. All grounds have to be connected together, but 5 volts I will take from the Arduino 5-volt pin. Maybe better will be if I use some voltage regulator module to generate 5 volts, but this is also okay, I think, because I'm not using higher current to anything, so there is very little possibility that I will burn Arduino with high current. Now I need to put away for a couple of seconds the middle part, because I will place the battery indicator under the transmitter, and I need to put the cable through hole which is under the middle part. After this I can put the middle part back, and I use the screws also for joining the battery indicator module, which is under the device, but it is tightened with the same screws as is the middle part. The black cable from battery indicator, which represents ground, I will join to terminal, to the other grounds, and the red I will solder to power on button, because we would like to know voltage of the battery after we turn the device on. Arduino board is joined to the platform with the screws, but before I place the Arduino in the platform, I have burned the firmware. The complete code you can find also in the description of this video, and you can copy the code and burn to your Arduino Mega. I tried to do some cable management, but then I decided that I just hide this big mess of cables under the upper part of this device, but I need to be very careful about that because I don't want to break anything or cut some cables. The control stick on each side I join with the glue because I don't have a plan to disassemble it, and on the bottom side I will place some holders because it will prevent to splitting the sides. Under the bottom side I will place with the glue some holders because then it will be a bit comfortable to hold this device in hands. And when everything is done, I have put the battery inside the battery box on the bottom side of the device, and I will turn the device on with the power on button. I need to also test if everything is working, if the LCD display is working correctly, also if the values on the display are switching according to the sticks and the joysticks, and also if the LEDs are working correctly. Okay, so this was the first test, and the second test will be in controlling the RC 3D printed tank, which is not completely done, but for this test case it will be okay. Unfortunately, this is everything what I am able to test in this moment, because anything else on the tank it is not prepared for now, so now I can test only if it is running front, left or on the side. But it seems everything is working correctly, and that's very good. So thank you very much for your attention, and please hit the subscribe button and hit the like on this video, and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.